make about a 1.5 inch bubble and another 1.5 inch bubble, and you ear twist this bubble like so. Now you take 2 more white balloons and you inflate them fully and tie them end to end. Join them together thusly. Fold them into your ear twist and your 1 inch bubble. Putting the ear twist on one side and the 1 inch bubble on the other so that you have wings. Now I usually, take it and pull down and squeeze, causing it to make a shape of wings. Then I grab the other wing and squeeze off another squeeze twist so that the wings take on shape. Now, so that I have a place to keep this while I do the halo. You take the halo, you take a yellow balloon, you'll be getting rid of some of it. You take and make yourself a halo by twisting off a small bubble and twisting off another bubble, like you're going to make the bow for the mouse hat, the lady mouse, only a little larger around. Twisting those 2 together, take your small bubble, ear twist it, and move the nozzle around the 2 bubbles several times, locking them down. Taking the rest of it, pinching through with your thumb against your finger, through with your thumb against your finger, snap it loose. Get rid of it. Now you've got your halo. Twist off about a 1 inch bubble on the top of this wing helmet configuration and twist in the yellow ear twist and the white bubble, causing the white bubble to be on top and the yellow one to be at the back. So when you put this on, you can tell, well, you know, I think your halo is on just a little bit crooked there. There, that's better. No, you'll straighten it up so that the halo is on straight. You've got the angel hat. Now, how this plays well with the devil hat is you take the devil hat and you take one side of the 2 bottom portions and split it in half so that you have a place to tie in a tail. You take a red balloon, filled up all but about 2 inches, taking your nozzle in, twist off 1 small bubble. Now we're going to make the actual fork tail. Twist off about a 2 inch bubble, about a 4 or 5 inch bubble, another 4 or 5 inch bubble, and another 1 to 2 inch bubble. These bubbles should be the same size. These bubbles should be the same size. Twist those 2 together. Ear twist your small bubble with the nozzle on it. Take that ear twist and push it between the 2 smaller bubbles, forcing the tail to fork apart. Squeeze the air out to the end. Grab the tail in one hand, grab one tail in one hand, one tail in the other, and twist it around in a circle so that it spins and sets up. On the nipple end, or the rounded end, fully inflated to the end now, because of the twisting you've done here to force the air forward. And if you have an uninflated portion, go ahead and push the air to the end and twist off a small bubble. You take that to where you split the bottom portion of the hat apart, and you tuck that around and turn it underneath to the bottom so that the tail will stick up in the air like so. Okay, now the way these 2 play well together, okay, you've made one for one person, put it on, made one for the other person, okay? Now, go on! No! You can play that for a long time, as long as they laugh. I'd like to show you a balloon that I learned from one of Ralph Dewey's books. If you don't have any of his books, you ought to get yourself some. They're what I built my ballooning foundation on. And I know, Ralph, you're probably sick of hearing me say it, but seriously, they're the best books in the business. I recommend anybody highly. I recommend them highly to anybody. Get them if you want them. If you don't want them, well, that's okay too. Some of us love having them. Fill a balloon, all but about the last inch or two. Burp a little bit to make it pliable. Tie it off. Now, at this point, I'm going to not teach you how to do the balloon. You're going to need to buy Ralph's book to do it. All I'm going to do is show you how I tell the story with this balloon. You ever heard the story of Jonah and the whale? You know which one I mean? Jonah. God came to him and said, Jonah, are you talking to me, God? Me? Yeah, Jonah, I'm talking to you. What do you want, God? I want you to go to a far land called Nineveh and tell the people there about me. Well, excuse me, God, but that's a strange land, and those are strange people. You want me to go tell them about a strange God? It's just a little too strange. How about if I go over here where I know the people? I know these people, God. I can communicate with them. I don't even know how to talk to those people. This will be all right, won't it, God? Okay, yeah, right? But God said, no, Jonah, you don't get off that easy. So you see, here's Jonah going where he's not supposed to instead of where he was told to go. And who remembers what happened? What happened? Did Jonah do something? What? That's right, he got on a boat. He got on a boat in the sea. And he was out on the sea. And God said, no, Jonah, you don't get off that easy. So God started making the waves toss and turn and splash over the ship and crash down upon the boat. The sailors all said, oh, woe is me. What did we do to make God so mad at us that he would destroy us in this flood? What did we do? And Jonah said, it's me, guys. I disobeyed God, and I didn't go where I was supposed to go. And so you're getting punished kind of for me. And if you just throw me overboard, I would drown, and that'd be the end of it, and I wouldn't have to serve God, and you wouldn't get destroyed in this storm. And they thought, well, wait a minute. Do we throw him over, or do we not even lay hands on him? I mean, because if we lay hands on him, God might really punish us. So what happens? Who remembers? Does Jonah get thrown over, or does he jump? Do you know? How many out there thinks that Jonah jumped? Okay. How many out there thinks that Jonah was thrown over? Ah, we have a difference of opinion, don't we? Well, now, you know what you're going to have to do? I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to go get your Bibles and look it up for yourself. Because you see, what happens anyway is that Jonah finally winds up in the water. Okay? And he says, I'll just drown, and I won't have to serve God. Woe is me. But God looks down and says, no, Jonah, you don't get off that easy. You see, God caused Jonah to have something happen to him. Who remembers what it was? Do we remember? Anybody? Anybody remember what happened to Jonah? He got swallowed into the belly of a whale, didn't he? Yeah. You see, what happened with Jonah is that, well, the Bible says a big fish, but I think it was probably a blue whale. What do you think? Anyway, so here Jonah is in the belly of this big old fish. And can you imagine? How many of you have ever eaten too much food? I mean, you're full up to about, can't get much fuller than that, can you? You're full up to about here, and all you have left is one little burp, and you get the taste in the back of your throat. What the sailors referred to, I think, when they said, shiver me timbers. Ugh. Makes me want to reach for a piece of gum or a breath mint every time. Ugh. Could you imagine, though, floating in that for 3 whole days? Jonah did. Before he was in there 3 days, I bet he was saying something like this, I know I would. Oh, God, I will go anywhere you want. I will do anything you say if you'll just let me out of the belly of this smelly old fish. But God looked down and said, no, Jonah. You see, the thing is you have to suffer the consequence of your actions. Anybody out there resemble that remark? I do. See, one time when I was about 6 years old,
My grandma bought me a brand new bicycle, and she told me, don't you let anybody ride it that I don't know. And I went, okay, Grandma, I'll do that, I'll do that. And I meant to mind her, I really did. So I took my bicycle out, and I was riding it up and down the street, up and down the street. A little boy came along, said, hey, let me ride your new bicycle. And I said, oh, no, I can't let anybody that doesn't know my grandma ride my bike. Well, I know your grandma. Are you sure? Yeah, that lady with gray hair and the glasses. You know my grandma? Well, he described her to a T. Must have been her. So I let him ride my bike. And I was sitting there on the front steps about 1 hour later. 2 hours later. Around about dark 30. Johnny! Yes, Grandma? Come on inside, it's time for dinner. Okay, she didn't say anything about the bike. Bring your bicycle. She knows, I know she knows I'm going to be in so much trouble. So I came inside, and I walked in, I sat down, and she said, did you put your bicycle up? Almost lied to her. I did, I almost lied to her, almost said yes, but I said, Grandma, I can't lie to you. I let some little boy named Tommy borrow my bicycle, and he rode off down the street, and he never came back. When did that happen? Not very long after you let me go outside. Why didn't you come tell me? Because I was afraid. But we could have called the police and maybe got your bike back, but it's gone now. Bye-bye forever. I doubt we'll ever see that bicycle again. But Grandma, don't be mad at me. Don't spank me or anything. No, I'm not going to spank you. I'm not mad at you. Your punishment is you have to suffer the consequence of your actions. You let that little boy ride your bike, and that's the consequence. You lost your bike from the action of you disobeying me. But he described you. He said, that gray-haired lady with the glasses. Johnny, how many boys and girls have grandmas with gray hair and glasses? Most of them? Okay. So, I had to suffer the consequence of my actions. Anybody out there resemble that remark? Yeah, some of us do. So did Jonah. You see, but there's a happy ending to all the stories. You see, I got a new bike a couple of years later. Jonah got out about 3 days later. See, Jonah was in the belly of the whale for 1, 2, 3 days, right? But when Jonah first prayed the prayer, if God had answered his prayer when the whale was 3 days out to sea, Jonah would have drowned. But God put his hand of protection on Jonah until 1, 2, 3 days later, when the whale was brought to the beach. Anybody remember where the whale beached, or where the whale came to shore at? That's right, Nineveh. God brought him right back. So now, what happened on the shore of Nineveh? Jonah got spit up out of the belly of that whale, didn't he? You see? Could you imagine? I mean, here these guys are on the beach in Nineveh, stretched out in their hammocks, with their servants bringing them cold drinks, and their slaves fanning them with the fans. And they're drinking these cool drinks, and they look and they go, oh, look, it's a little early this time of year for the whales to be running, isn't it? Hey, look. That one just spit something up. What is it? It's getting up. It's a man. Look, it's a man. Hey, you, come here. Come here, tell us your story. How did you get in the belly of that whale? How did you survive? And what are you doing here anyway? Ready-made witness. Anyway, that's how I tell the story of Jonah and the whale. Now, and if you like what you've seen, watch for upcoming videos where I'll show you designs like these. Have a good day. God bless.